The convergence of Formula One and global celebrity culture intensified as the 2026 racing season approached, driven by growing speculation surrounding Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian. Hamilton, now 41, has long occupied a space that extends beyond motorsport. From his early emergence as a prodigy in Stevenage to becoming a seven-time world champion and global figure in fashion and activism, his career has consistently attracted attention beyond the circuit. His record-breaking achievements and high-profile move to Ferrari have sustained interest in both his professional trajectory and his personal life. Kim Kardashian has similarly evolved beyond her initial platform in reality television. Over 2 decades, she transformed media visibility into a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, establishing brands such as Skims and expanding her influence across fashion, business, and cultural commentary. Like Hamilton, she operates in a space where visibility is strategic, yet personal boundaries remain tightly managed. Both figures are accustomed to being photographed, analyzed, and discussed, while maintaining control over what they choose to disclose. Speculation regarding a potential relationship gained momentum in the lead-up to the 2026 season, following reports that the two had been seen together on several understated outings. They have circulated within overlapping elite social circles for years, attending major events in sport and fashion. What drew attention was the suggestion that their connection had shifted from professional acquaintance to something more personal. No official confirmation accompanied these reports, but repetition across outlets elevated the story into a sustained international discussion. The narrative intensified during Super Bowl 60, where the pair appeared together in a highly visible setting. Their presence side by side at one of the world's largest sporting events moved the speculation from background rumor to prominent headline. Coverage from outlets such as Geo News described the appearance as confirmation of a visible bond, while social media footage from the international broadcast at Levi's Stadium circulated widely. The setting amplified interest, particularly among Formula One supporters, who began questioning whether Kardashian might become a regular presence within the F1 paddock during Hamilton's first season with Ferrari. As pre-season testing began in Bahrain, attention followed Hamilton into the Formula One media environment. The developing storyline competed with technical analysis of the new Ferrari machinery. Ferrari supporters and general observers alike focused on whether the speculation would be addressed directly. During a media session, Sky Sports F1's Ted Kravitz raised the topic. According to reporting from Express.co, OK, and Sport Bible, Hamilton was asked about his Super Bowl appearance and whether he had enjoyed his company more than the game itself. Hamilton's response was concise and deliberate. He stated, "It's my private life. I'm not talking about that." The 9-word reply established a clear boundary between public visibility and personal disclosure. Reports describe the exchange as calm and measured, consistent with Hamilton's long-standing approach to media inquiries regarding his relationships. When Kravitz later referenced the moment, he acknowledged the brevity of the response and the driver's refusal to elaborate. Even attempts to widen the discussion by referencing former teammate Valtteri Bottas did not produce further commentary. Additional layers of speculation emerged from social media analysis. Clips from the Super Bowl broadcast prompted online discussion, and a lip-reading interpretation cited by Reality T claimed Hamilton referenced introducing Kardashian to his mother. That analysis, however, remains interpretive rather than confirmed by either party. Reports also referenced a private retreat at Estelle Manor in the Cotswolds prior to the Super Bowl, covered by the Evening Standard, though details of that outing were similarly limited to observational reporting. At this stage, the confirmed facts include a visible joint appearance at Super Bowl 60 and Hamilton's explicit refusal to discuss his private life during Bahrain testing. No formal statement has been issued by either Hamilton or Kardashian confirming or denying a relationship. The situation remains defined by public proximity and private restraint, with both figures maintaining control over what they choose to disclose. As the speculation surrounding Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian intensified, the narrative shifted from simple sighting reports to layered interpretation. The Super Bowl 60 appearance became the central reference point in nearly every discussion. Broadcast footage showing the pair seated together at Levi's Stadium circulated widely, and multiple outlets described the moment as a public confirmation of a close connection. Yet beyond visual proximity, no formal declaration accompanied the appearance. What amplified the situation was context. Hamilton entered the 2026 Formula One season amid significant transition. His move to Ferrari marked one of the most consequential transfers in recent motorsport history, placing him under heightened scrutiny from both media and supporters. Pre-season testing in Bahrain was expected to focus on performance metrics, team integration, and technical adaptation. Instead, questions about his private life became a dominant theme within certain media sessions. Ted Kravitz of Sky Sports F1 addressed the topic during testing, later recounting the exchange in coverage cited by Express.co.uk and Sport Bible. According to those reports, Hamilton was directly asked about his Super Bowl company. His response remained consistent with his established media posture. "It's my private life. I'm not talking about that." The brevity of the statement was widely noted. The answer neither confirmed nor denied a relationship, it reaffirmed a boundary. The refusal to elaborate did not diminish speculation. Instead, it reinforced a broader pattern that has characterized Hamilton's public persona for years. Throughout his career, he has maintained a clear separation between professional obligations and personal matters. Previous relationships have similarly been acknowledged only within carefully controlled circumstances. The Bahrain response aligned with that history. Meanwhile, online commentary continued to expand beyond the original sighting. Social media users dissected broadcast footage frame by frame. A lip-reading analysis reported by Reality T claimed that Hamilton referenced introducing Kardashian to his mother. However, that interpretation remains speculative and has not been confirmed by Hamilton. Lip-reading assessments by nature rely on visual inference rather than verified audio, and no transcript supports the claim. Additional reporting referenced a brief retreat at Estelle Manor in the Cotswolds prior to the Super Bowl, as detailed by the Evening Standard. The coverage described the outing as private and low profile, though it did not provide substantive confirmation of the relationship's status. Such reports contributed to a timeline suggesting increasing proximity, yet each element remained observational rather than declarative. The broader reaction within the Formula One community also became part of the narrative. Ferrari supporters known as the Tifosi speculated whether Kardashian might attend Grand Prix during the season. The possibility of her presence in the paddock generated discussion across fan forums. However, no confirmed appearances beyond the Super Bowl have been documented. From Kardashian's perspective, the Super Bowl outing aligned with her established pattern of high-visibility event attendance. She has long been present at major sporting events, fashion weeks, and award ceremonies. Sitting alongside a prominent athlete does not in itself constitute formal relationship confirmation. Her public posture following the event remained unchanged. No statement was issued, and no explicit acknowledgement appeared on her social media platforms. The absence of official commentary from either party allowed external outlets to shape the narrative. Some characterized the Super Bowl as a hard launch, implying intentional public confirmation. Others described it as a high-profile appearance, open to interpretation. Without direct affirmation, the designation remains media-driven rather than self-declared. Within Bahrain's media environment, Hamilton's composure under questioning stood out. The 2026 pre-season carried significant competitive implications for Ferrari, yet personal questions briefly overshadowed technical discussion. His response redirected focus toward racing. Reports emphasized that he did not display irritation. Instead, he delivered a concise boundary and moved forward. Valtteri Bottas's non-verbal reaction, as referenced in coverage, added to the story's texture. When the topic was raised indirectly, Bottas reportedly responded with a smile and nod rather than commentary. That moment reinforced the unified silence surrounding the matter. Neither teammate nor principal figures elaborated. At present, the verified sequence of events includes reports of low-key outings, a documented joint appearance at Super Bowl 60, and Hamilton's explicit refusal to discuss his private life during Bahrain testing. Supplementary claims, including lip-reading interpretations and retreat details, remain based on secondary reporting rather than direct confirmation. The storyline continues to develop within a framework defined by visibility and restraint. Public appearances provide imagery, direct statements remain limited. The contrast between speculation and boundary setting has become the defining feature of this phase, until either Hamilton or Kardashian chooses to formally clarify their status. The narrative remains constructed from proximity and refusal. The professional context of Hamilton's Ferrari debut and the cultural visibility of Kardashian ensure sustained attention. However, the only confirmed statement regarding the matter remains Hamilton's 9-word response, which establishes a consistent and deliberate separation between public interest and private disclosure. Until either Hamilton or Kardashian chooses to formally clarify their status, the narrative remains constructed from proximity and refusal. The professional context of Hamilton's Ferrari debut and the cultural visibility of Kardashian ensure sustained attention. However, the only confirmed statement regarding the matter remains Hamilton's 9-word response, which establishes a consistent and deliberate separation between public interest and private disclosure. The most concrete elements of the timeline are straightforward. Hamilton and Kardashian were seen together at Super Bowl 60. Broadcast footage confirmed their proximity in a VIP setting at Levi's Stadium. In the days that followed, media outlets characterized the appearance as significant. Shortly afterward, during pre-season testing in Bahrain, Hamilton declined to discuss his private life when questioned, stating, "It's my private life. I'm not talking about that." No further clarification has been issued by either party. The significance of that refusal lies in its consistency. Hamilton has historically maintained a disciplined boundary between professional obligations and personal relationships. His career has unfolded under intense scrutiny, yet he has repeatedly avoided narrating his romantic life in detail. The Bahrain response did not represent a shift in tone. It reinforced an established pattern. By refusing to elaborate, he prevented the narrative from gaining formal confirmation or denial. For Kardashian, the implications are similarly nuanced. Her public persona has long been shaped by strategic visibility. She is accustomed to being photographed and discussed in connection with high-profile figures. However, in this instance, she has not issued a public statement, posted clarifying commentary, or engaged directly with speculation. The absence of affirmation mirrors Hamilton's restraint. From a brand perspective, both individuals operate within highly structured ecosystems. Hamilton's move to Ferrari marked a defining chapter in his career, one that carries competitive and commercial weight. His focus during pre-season testing remained on adaptation to the new car and team integration, public discussion of his private life risks distracting from that professional narrative. By declining to comment, he preserved the primacy of racing. Kardashian's business ventures, including Skims and her broader portfolio, rely on controlled messaging. Associating with a globally recognized athlete does not inherently disrupt that framework. However, unverified speculation can create volatility. Silence, in this context, may serve as stabilization rather than avoidance. The media ecosystem surrounding the story illustrates a broader dynamic. In the absence of official confirmation, outlets rely on visual evidence, secondary reporting, and interpretive analysis. The lip-reading claim cited by Reality T, for example, remains speculative. No confirmed audio transcript supports it. Reports of a Cotswolds retreat, as referenced by the Evening Standard, describe proximity without definitive labeling of the relationship. Each element contributes to narrative layering, yet none constitute formal acknowledgement. The unresolved nature of the situation creates space for continued interpretation. If Kardashian appears at future Grands Prix, speculation may intensify. If she does not, observers may interpret absence as distance. However, neither scenario confirms or denies the relationship status. Public presence and private commitment are not identical measures. There is also a broader cultural dimension. Formula One has increasingly intersected with fashion, entertainment, and global celebrity over the past decade. Hamilton himself has played a central role in expanding the sport's cultural footprint. Kardashian's presence at a major sporting event alongside him fits within that evolving landscape. The overlap between sport and entertainment no longer feels anomalous. It reflects contemporary celebrity integration. At this stage, The key unresolved question is not whether the two share a visible connection. That has been documented. The uncertainty lies in the nature and permanence of that connection. Without direct confirmation, the narrative remains suspended between inference and restraint. What distinguishes this situation from many celebrity storylines is the absence of contradiction. Neither party has issued a denial, neither has offered confirmation. The only direct quote available is Hamilton's refusal to discuss the matter. That refusal serves as the clearest factual boundary. Long-term significance may ultimately depend less on the relationship itself and more on how it is managed publicly. If the pairing continues to appear at major events, the narrative may gradually shift from rumor to accepted reality without formal announcement. If appearances cease, the story may fade without resolution. In either case, the approach taken thus far reflects deliberate control. The convergence of Formula One and global celebrity culture will continue to attract attention. Hamilton's competitive performance with Ferrari will shape his professional narrative. Kardashian's ongoing ventures will sustain her independent trajectory. Their shared visibility at a single event, amplified through media repetition, does not alone define future outcomes. For now, the confirmed record remains limited: a Super Bowl appearance, observational reporting of prior outings, and a clear statement establishing privacy. Everything beyond that rests in interpretation. The story persists because proximity invites curiosity and silence invites speculation. Until one of the two chooses to redefine that boundary publicly, the narrative remains intentionally incomplete.